Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Don't Tell Me How to Fan. My name is Josh Albrecht, and with me, as always, is my good friend, John Taylor. Hi, John.
Hi, Josh. How you doing, bud?
Oh, I'm okay.
Yeah.
Life is crazy. Things happen, you know? The dishwasher broke. Spent a lot of time this weekend. Too much time trying to fix it because it feels good when you fix things.
Yeah.
I could not fix this.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I have a small win. Did I mention this on the last pod? I think I technically did. I fixed my garage door broke, and I fixed my garage door. I don't remember if I mentioned that last episode, but
you did. I don't know if it was on the pod. It might have been.
I texted you privately, but since we're talking about appliance issues, my J arm for my garage door snapped off the stud. There's like a bracket. The bracket wasn't secured on enough contact points, so eventually it just like ripped out and then sheared the top part. So I extended the J arm, bought a new bracket arm, had it fixed in under an hour and a half. It was quite the feat.
Did it feel good?
Felt good. It's still working, which is what feels really good. So
that's money.
Yeah.
Also, things happened in sports since the last time we talked. Did you know that?
Yeah. Sports keep happening. We have.
Yes, they do.
No.
Let's break it down quickly. First of all, the Brewers are continuing to do Brewer things. Everyone's celebrating the fact that they didn't get swept, and they ended the Twins' 13-game winning streak, which 2 of those 13 wins were against the Brewers, as the Brewers now for 3 series in a row took 1 game out of 3. Yay.
Yeah.
That's good enough for 4th in the division. They are
6 games back.
Yeah, they're ahead of the Pirates, who don't even count.
Yeah.
Still not good. They got to figure something out, and we will keep waiting for them to do so.
Shout out to Jackson Churio, though. Robbed that home run.
Yep.
Would have tied the game. I mean, that was an incredible play. He's got a lot of growing he needs to do defensively and offensively. You know, this is what happens when you sign a player who never played a full season in the major leagues to a 10-year contract. I think it's going to look good and favorable, and I'm excited about it, but these are the growing pains you sign up for when you lock in a player who's that unproven consistently. So,
but that was a good time to show off some skills.
Yeah.
So, so there's your Brewers update.
Yeah.
All right.
More of the same. Yeah.
Since the last time we talked, the Green Bay Packers released their schedule was released, and we know who they're going to play this year and what weeks they're going to play them. John, would you like to do the time-honored tradition of going week by week and saying if you think they'll win or lose that game?
Yeah. Before we do that, can I throw something your way? I'm curious.
Sure.
What's the general hubbub in Wisconsin about this schedule specifically? How are people feeling about it? Because I only see stuff online. You know, nobody's really walking around in my life talking about the Packers schedule, sadly. So,
to be honest with you, I don't feel like a ton of people have given one way or another. I think they're kind of all just, it's a schedule. Anything that I've seen has been a little bit, it's a tough schedule.
Yeah.
Which I feel like that's most years.
Yeah.
You know, and then it seems like the games that we think are for sure wins, we end up losing anyway. So,
yeah. Well, the challenging part about the schedule is the first time we go 3rd in the division, but the problem is we have to play the best division in football. So straight away, 6 of the games are going to be really challenging. They're playing the AFC North, which was widely considered the second most challenging. You know, people were arguing one for the other, which North division was more competitive. So
correct.
Just by nature of that, you know, it's not great. And then we face the Eagles. Is that the legacy game? There's a couple points I'm a little fuzzy on, but that's okay. It's all right.
Yeah, we do play the Eagles.
I was trying to figure it out though, but I don't know why we're playing the Eagles, because the divisions are we're playing the NFC. What is it? Is it this is not riveting radio. It doesn't matter.
It's not. It doesn't make sense for us to be playing the Eagles.
We're playing the NFC North, and we play the Eagles every single year, or the NFC East. That's why we're playing the Eagles again, and we play every.
We got the Giants. Yeah.
Because you can like build the schedule out, right? They rotate every year. You can know which division you're gonna play, or like which division you're gonna play. Then you play. your place in every other division in the Northern Conference. So it makes sense why we're playing the Cardinals and why we have a game against the Panthers. They finished third. So you can piecemeal this. I admittedly have not looked super hard on this because even for me, if I were not in a podcast, this is a little early for me to start looking at the schedule. A lot of the reports and articles, I'm kind of like, can we just see what the rookies do before we start trying to figure out how we're going to win or lose these football games? No, we can't.
We can't. We can't. And I'll tell you why, because there's nothing else to really look forward to.
I know.
In regards to Wisconsin sports. Usually I'd be with you. I'd be like, the Brewers are killing it right now. Why are we focusing on the schedule? We got plenty of time. Now I'm like, oh, yes.
I am
focused on. Let's go.
Dying to dive into the schedule today for this episode.
Please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So here we go. All right. Yeah. Week 1 at home against the Lions. 3:25 start. Thoughts on that game? Win, loss, tie?
I'm gonna say the Packers win.
Wow.
I take the win because I think the fact that there's a couple things at play here, and I won't have this much synopsis on all of this, but they are an NFC North divisional opponent. Dan Campbell's the only one that's still a part of that brain trust that got them to where they were at. Not to say they don't have talented players, not to say that their GM doesn't know what he's doing. I think there's a lot of culture there, but it is hard to install new defenses. It's hard to install new offenses when your head coach has nothing to do with either. And I just think the Packers are going to have time all offseason to game plan this game. And for the first time, Josh, I'm sure you've heard this floating around. It's the first time the season opener is in Green Bay in the Matt LaFleur area. He's been coached for 5 years and he's just now finally getting it. That's crazy. So
that is crazy.
You don't have the travel to contend with. So I think they technically can start game planning for the Lions right now. This is, so that's why I think they win it at home.
I think that they do win this game. But I'm going to be frustrated still. Like, I think it's going to be a win, but it's going to be both teams came out rusty. I'm glad that the Packers were less rusty at home and they came away with a win. But I'm also taking a dub against the Lions. Then we have the Commanders the following week, also at Lambeau, and that is a night game. Let me see. I can tell you in a minute if that's a Sunday night or a Monday night. Also good radio.
Oh, it's at 7:15 Central Time. So it's a Thursday night football game.
Thursday night. Yeah, that's right. I said Sunday or Monday, and it's a Thursday. Nailed it. Against the Commanders at home. I don't know about this one. I think this might be a loss.
Interesting.
I know.
Yeah, it's still home. It's on a short week, which means the rest advantage is for us. I think we beat the Commanders. I don't believe in the Commanders as much. I think they were lucky to beat us in the 6th seed. If we were in the NFC East, we would have handedly won that 6th seed. I think they beat the Lions on a pretty fluky play. I can't put a ton of stock or faith in the Commanders until I see it for a second season, because I think they are due for a unfortunate Green Bay Packers second year with maybe their future quarterback. Like, I just think there's so much that went right for them. And I'm not saying Jaden Daniels is not talented, but I think you're going to have teams now fully scheme for Jaden Daniels. He is a known commodity in this league. I think Jordan Love saw the same situation. They're going to grind the tape. They're going to find tendencies. Matt LaFleur he's making a media round post draft. He was on the Chris Sims podcast or show, whatever it is. I saw it on YouTube. And he was basically saying that they're going to take time in the offseason to game plan for this game too, so they can start working on installs. So they have more time, They're playing 3 games in 2 weeks to start the season. It's crazy. I mean, it's going to be the freshest they ever been. So that's why I think it's going to be a win. I mean, I think the Commanders are a talented football team. I think Deebo Samuel excites me. It interests me. I think that their culture is pretty strong, but at the end of the day, I think the Packers at home for the first 2 weeks, especially on a short week, it does them a lot of favors. So
I don't think that the Packers are going to start 2-0. And so since my gut said that the Lions were going to go down in week 1, therefore the Packers have to slip up at home against the Commanders.
Got it.
Then we have week 3. We go to Cleveland, Packers and the Browns.
So you have it as a win, and so do I, right?
Yes.
We can just do that right now. We don't have to spend
The Browns. Yeah.
Yeah. My question is, do you? I'm taking down notes on who scored
and
what.
I will stop.
Yeah, that's great.
That's way better.
Yeah. Who do you think the starting quarterback for the Browns is going to be? It's got to be Flacco. Never mind. I take it back. It's going to be Flacco. It's too early in the season.
It doesn't matter who the quarterback's going to be. The Packers are going to win that game.
Yeah.
Not going to win.
Yeah.
Then they go to their home away from home in Dallas, where they have won more playoff games than the Dallas Cowboys in Jerry World.
Mm-hmm.
I love seeing that stat pop up randomly. I'm like, yeah, oh, thank you. That's a little sunshine on a cloudy day. Packers are going to beat the Cowboys.
Yep.
Going to happen.
Yeah. Which means you see that right. I have the Packers going 4-0.
Yeah.
Until the bye.
Yeah, I don't see that. I think they gotta lose one. And it's gonna be one of the first 2. Then they have the bye week. Do they win the bye?
They win the bye.
They win the bye.
Too early.
Yes, way too early. Hate that. But we say that now, and then Lord knows what could happen in week 1, and we go, well, thank God we have that early bye.
Yeah.
You'll never know. Then they'll come back and they will face the Bengals at home.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of home games to start the year.
Yes. Too many in my opinion.
Not a lot of balance.
I guess it's 3-2. Actually, by week 8, they'll have had more road games than home games. So not exactly true.
Maybe I'm just used to more away games in the front half of the season.
Yeah, I feel like usually we play I think what you're feeling is the fact that both we're going to have two of the first 3 games are home games. I feel like the last several years it's been 2 on the road, 1 home. And so we're waiting and waiting.
Like week 3 or 4, it's like all
we're
right, now we get to go to Lambeau.
We're talking end of September. The season started a month ago and we're finally getting a home game. Yeah, because this is the 3rd, but then we get two road games after this. It's the Bengals. Who you got?
Packers, because it's home game.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel too. And I realize
But that's literally the only reason why. I feel like if it was on the road, I would have taken the Bengals.
Interesting. Yeah, maybe it's an easy travel. Yeah, I still think they're going to win that game. Now we have 2 back-to-back road games again.
Yes.
First one being against the Cardinals,
which I think is a win.
Yeah, 3:25 start. Yeah, I think that's an easy win. I mean, I think they might be better than we think, but they definitely overperformed last year.
Oh yeah. I mean, listen, they should win.
Mm-hmm.
It's a game they should win. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Then the Packers will face Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another funny anecdote. Matt LaFleur basically said, I'm assuming we are going to be playing Aaron Rodgers against the Steelers until we hear otherwise, so.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
Do they win in Pittsburgh?
No. I think this is my first loss of the season. I think
that's probably good for you.
I think if it's going to be Aaron Rodgers, I think it's going to be interesting. I don't think he's as good as he once was, but I think their defense will make up for it.
But he's as good once as he ever was.
Right. Yeah. All he has to do is beat us that one time, and it's not lost to me. I don't think the Packers are going to go 8-0. So,
I also think they lose that game to the Steelers. But then they bounce back and they beat the Panthers because they're the Panthers. And they've been a big steaming pile of poop for many years.
Yeah. I think they're going to be bad. They've done a lot they got Tedero McMillan, the guy I wanted, but they definitely signed some guys to bolster the offensive line. So hopefully they can take care of Bryce Young. So, we'll see. I still don't think they're good enough to beat the Packers. But I will say it's funny. We talk about the Packers in a vacuum. This is just a halfway point check-in, which I always think is funny. I look at the schedule and I'm thinking we really haven't ran into the buzzsaw, which is just our division, which can get a little bit squirrely for sure. But this team in a vacuum is still better than so many other football teams. The amount of disrespect I see where they're talking about who are the top 5 best teams in the NFC, and it's the Packers are on the list, and somehow the Rams are above them. I'm you're just excited they signed Devontae Adams. Give me a break. This is not it's pretty disrespectful, and I get it. We placed 3rd in our division, but it would take a
It's
miracle
the best division in football.
In football, I think. Spoiler, it's not really a spoiler because I think it would be a miracle for the Vikings. I think the Vikings could end up last in the North with the JJ transition. They lost some pieces.
Mm-hmm.
They got a little older, but that's I guess another conversation for another day. But
yeah, there'll be plenty of time for interdivision in-depth analysis.
Yeah,
but the Panthers, I think, are going down at Lambeau. Then the Eagles come to Lambeau the following week. Now, here's a question. Is this game the, man, we just can't get past the Eagles game? Or is it the Packers' revenge game?
I don't think it's exactly true, but I lean more towards, I don't think we win this game.
I don't think
I
so
think
either.
it makes people really nervous about.
I think it upsets a lot of people. And when I say a lot of people, I mean me.
I think I think Josh Jacobs was correct in the offseason when he kept saying, we play the Eagles better than anybody. I agree with that sentiment. However, the Eagles did not lose when it mattered the most and went all the way and won a Super Bowl. So you got to beat the champs to be the champ. And I just until I see it, I cannot pick the Packers to beat the Eagles. A lot of stupid mistakes, a lot of dumb penalties. These things get cleaned up and we go after week 10 and we go, man, at home, we mollywop the Eagles or we won, period. I would not be surprised, but until I see that happening, I just can't go there. They're such a good football team. And yes, they lost some pieces. They lost a few guys in the secondary. They lost a couple of edge rushers. They lost some pieces but that's what happens in football. And Laurie and Nick Sirianni, it's a good program. And I just can't pick the Packers right now until, I don't know. Don't hold me to it. I keep saying don't hold me to it, but week 10, we're leading into the game. Maybe I'll have a different conversation, but the way the wide receiver
preseason, it's a loss. It's a loss.
It's a loss.
To be honest with you, it should be a loss. They're the chance. It's not. This is not a wild, crazy. Oh my gosh, I can't believe you're saying that's a make sense pick.
Yeah,
I think
it's
at Lambeau, but still, they're the champ.
I'll say this: if Gary and LVN are looking insane, and maybe Ja actually is a Packer, we don't have to touch that right now again for the umpteenth time. But I think you tell me that Jaden Reed stepped up. Dontavian Wicks is catching balls. You know what I mean? If the wide receivers look more like Jordan Love first year as opposed to Jordan Love second year, then I could see myself, they have 9 weeks on tape. I could see myself getting there being we can beat this team, but you're right. You framed it perfectly. Preseason, that's a loss because I just don't know how these guys are going to play with each other. So.
100%. Then the Packers go to New Jersey to play the Giants. That's a win. Giants suck.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to waste more time. They suck until proven otherwise. It's the exact inverse of the Eagles.
Correct. Now we are at week 11. Week 11, and hey, we are finally playing an NFC North opponent again.
Technically week 12.
12. That's 12. Did I count wrong?
You did, but that's okay. It's week 12.
Okay. 11 weeks in between. That's where my brain was going.
Yeah.
Because week 1, we face the Lions. Week 12, we face the Vikings. No other NFC North opponents in between that. Is that correct? Am I seeing that correct?
You are seeing that correct.
That's wild. That's very late in the season to get your second of 6 games against divisional opponents. All right. Vikings at Packers. That's a win.
Vikings at Packers. Yeah, I have them. I have that as a win as well.
Yeah.
I just think, listen, the Vikings played us really well. We usually split these games. It's usually never home and home, but I know we got swept last year, but I think JJ McCarthy is going to have to prove an awful lot. He's going to, you know what I mean? He's going to have to do it because Sam Darnold played unconscious for most of the season last year. He played the Packers better than I think I've ever seen maybe any quarterback ever play against the Packers. Short of Kirk Cousins. I mean, these dudes really do perform well. And it does not feel like a Packers problem. I just think sometimes, we've had bad luck with this. But it's at home. It's JJ McCarthy. We don't know what he is, but he's not going to be Sam Darnold or Kirk Cousins this early in his career. So I'm right there with you.
Then week 13, we are in Detroit for the second game of the year against the Lions. I don't know. That's Thanksgiving. That's Thanksgiving.
That is Thanksgiving. Yeah.
I feel like the Packers are going to win that game.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know why I feel that. I think it's just my brain remembering the way that we crushed them in Detroit whenever that was. And just
2
that
years
was
ago.
such a great memory.
Yeah. I mean, that was the best two weeks of Jordan Love football.
Oh,
Maybe not, but that's like where it really turned around. I mean, yeah, we went and beat them on Thanksgiving. Quick. Gary got that fumble, and we put up a lot of points very quickly, and they couldn't climb out of it. And then we went and played the Chiefs. And I remember we beat Pat Mahomes at Kansas City. Yeah. It was really special. I don't have this as a win.
You have a loss on Thanksgiving?
I think going to Detroit, Thanksgiving is tough. Man. It's like back-to-back divisional opponents. It's on a short week. I just think like it's going to be a challenge. As annoying as I find it to be, it's going to be a challenge. So,
okay. I have to believe in the power of Thanksgiving and that they find a way to win. Then they have the Bears. The Bears come to Lambeau. The Bears obviously beat the Packers last season, ended the streak of Packers being the Bears for the last 710 years. And thoughts on this game? This is now back-to-back divisional opponents, by the way.
Yes,
you're keeping track at home.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to say, oh God, I can't say that they lose to the Bears. Why do I feel like they're going to lose this game? I feel like they're going to be. We're going to lose this game, and we're going to have plenty of excuses why. There's going to be injuries. There's going to be like it's just the last 2 weeks of going against the Vikings and then the Lions, and the fact that we had our bye a season and a half ago. It's going to feel like I feel like the Bears are going to somehow take advantage of just a rough week where we have a lot of people out.
Got it. So you think we lose that game?
I do.
Interesting. I do not. I think Matt LaFleur is going to drop his nuts all over the Bears because of Ben Johnson's comments. It's very far removed. It's going to be late in the year. It's going to be December. I know the Bears play outside too, but Lambeau's a different animal.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think I think there's a lot of guys who are going to take all of these in-division losses very personally that are still on the roster. So I just think, for me, I think the Bears take an L by us at home.
I mean, that's a make sense pick.
Yep.
And if I didn't I 100% agree that should be what happens. I don't know why. I just got this feeling it's not what's going to happen. Then the Packers go to Denver, face the Broncos. I'm going to say it's a win.
Yeah. I think so too. I don't have a good feeling for it. I think the Broncos are going to be very good this year. I just think the Packers are better right now on paper, period. So
then they beat the Bears in Chicago. Packers beat the Bears in Chicago.
Interesting. I have them losing this game.
Oh,
I think they split with the Bears. I think the Bears are a good enough football team that I can't just assume they're going to sweep the Bears. I think
I'll tell you why I picked it this way. I don't see Bears fans getting to celebrate a win at Soldier Field. Okay. It's going to be more seeing depressed Packers fans and a few Bears fans at Lambeau Field. I don't see something happens in Chicago. They lose that game.
Okay.
Packers win. Then the Ravens come to Green Bay in a loss.
Yeah, I'll go first. I think they lose. The Ravens are so good. I think they're so good. And I think if one of the Ravens, the Bills, or the Chiefs were in the North or in the NFC, I guess technically the Eagles beat the Chiefs, but I think the Ravens or the Bills handle the Eagles long before. This is a classic basketball situation where it's the players are all in the West, and so the West gets significantly better. It's so much of the talent in the NFL is in the AFC, and I think this could be the Ravens' year. Like, I think like if Lamar can
We've
figure out
been
how to
saying that
play,
for a lot of years, but you're right.
if Lamar can figure out how to play in the playoffs and they just lean on Derrick Henry more, I mean, they just worked out that contract extension. Like, I mean, it's like a no-brainer. I think it's going to be a really tough game. I think because like I think them feeding Henry plus the ability to run that Lamar has, it's just a tough game. It's just a tough game. So
yeah. I agree with you. I think it's a loss.
Yep.
And then the Packers face the Vikings in Minnesota, and that is also a loss.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I think I have it as a win.
I also don't think it's going to matter.
Interesting.
I think it's going to be a non-impact loss.
Got it.
I don't think it's going to affect anything in any way, shape, or form. So it's going to be like we lost, but we don't really care. The only thing that really hurts is that we're kind of limping into the playoffs right now. So we go with that.
Interesting. So by my count, you have the Packers going 11-6.
Sounds about right. Yep.
Yeah. Cool. Where you don't think they have a win streak longer than 3 games.
Yep. That also sounds right.
I think the Packers are going to win the first 6 games and go 12-5. And I think that just like, I think it's like hot. And then the schedule that gets real nasty for them. I think you could swap a couple of these. I think they might drop a game they shouldn't, and they'll win a game they should. 12-5 feels right to me. 11, they were 9-7 the first year, got up to 11-6 last year. Like they should be splitting these division games. They should be playing these tougher opponents. Like you talk about signature wins last year, and it's like we didn't really have anyone. You'd say like the most signature win was against the Seahawks, and that was they didn't make the playoffs. We thought they were going to when we beat them, and that's kind of cool. But like, it's time for them to start competing against the big boys. And this schedule definitely is how we're going to find that out. So
well said. I think. Listen, I'm not even upset with 11-6, and I also think that 11-6 will be a lot more competitive for the division this year. I do not think there's going to be where you have to win 14 or 15 games to win the division. I think that was a fluke. It was an anomaly. If you look like statistically, like that does not happen in divisional, fights. And so I think that 11-12 wins might be good enough for the division. I think the teams are going to be good enough, but it's just going to be a lot of them beating the crap out of each other.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be as much, just teams running away with it. So,
okay. Yeah. What do you think the NFC North standings are when it's all said and done?
That is a good question.
And you don't have to, I mean, I'm not going to hold you to this. This is just us having a conversation.
I think the Packers are second in the division.
Okay. So you think like, oh, that makes sense. So you think maybe like the Bears or the Lions go 12-5.
Yes.
Okay.
And I think it is the Lions that win the division again.
Yeah.
But it's close.
Yeah.
And I think that the Packers season, when we look at it, we're going to feel a lot better about this 11-6 than we will last year's 11-6.
Yeah.
And I think that we'll use that to take that into the playoffs, and we'll feel a lot more confident in that too.
Interesting. Okay. We have a pretty similar amount of losses. Huh. I think the Packers go 12-5.
Yep.
I think they have the same record as the Lions. I think somehow I only have 2 conference losses outside of the division. And I think maybe I guess it's going to fall in the NFC North division first and foremost.
Mm-hmm.
I think we win I think we take the 1 seed on a tiebreaker. Like I think both teams are going to be 12-5. I think it's going to be another situation where like the North is still the realest football in the NFC. And I think, I think
you don't think any team in the NFC North in the NFC gets 13 wins this year?
So this is what I'm not saying that they're going to win the 1 seed in the playoffs. I'm just saying. Like,
I'm sorry.
I'm saying like we're going to have 2 teams that get up to 12 wins because it's just their real deal football programs.
Okay.
Like I think the Eagles could be 13 and I think they could hit 13 wins no problem. I don't see a team in the South or the West really doing it. But I will say, I don't think. Yeah, I just that's what I mean. I'm speaking to the strength. Like, oh, of course, 2 teams in the North got up to 12 wins again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
that's how I feel about it. But
Got
I think both of us are 12-5, and I think we win the tiebreaker. Because there's going to be some growing pains. Like I said it why we beat them. I think the Lions might lose a very winnable game. It won't be as chalk of a schedule, in my opinion, with them. I think there's more volatility. Like, I mean, have you seen videos of Aiden Hutchinson like coming back from rehab? It's not looking great. I mean, it's not an easy injury to come back from, and it's not a guarantee that he's just going to pick up where he left off. It just isn't, So
right, and a lot of the Lions wins, you got to remember they were the Brewers of football last year. It was how are they continuing to find ways to win?
Yeah. Especially with all those injuries and whatever. So.
Correct. I mean, they had 3rd, 4th stringers coming in and kicking ass. It was wild to watch.
So I think it goes Packers, Lions, Bears, Vikings. I think the Bears could maybe make the playoffs, but I think it'd be like 10-6. They squeak in, kind of a thing.
No, because they're the Bears.
I
don't feel like you're factoring for something's going to happen.
This is the most competent regime they've had since Lovie Smith. And I know that Ben Johnson hasn't done a single thing, and he could be a total Kellen Moore where he can't head coach. He's only good at offensive coordinating, but to bring in all of the weapons last year and then not address the line and then overly address the line for him, like they're just on that side of the ball way better. And I think Caleb Williams is more talented than what he was able to demonstrate because of those shortcomings on the roster. And I think they addressed them in a very aggressive, and Ryan Poles did his job for sure. So we'll see. Like I said, I don't think they're gonna contend for the NFC North title, but I definitely I think they could make the playoffs this year.
Interesting. Well, there you have it: 12-5, 11-6,
yep.
And now we can put that to bed and not talk about it for at least 2 months.
Yeah.
Which is great. But yay, fun. I have 2 more things to talk about with you before we wrap this up for today's episode. First thing was Giannis, little Giannis watch, right? So he's still a Milwaukee Buck, and he has taken to his social media, and just responding to people that ask him questions. He's literally just doing an ask me anything without even saying like ask me anything. And it's awesome. I love it. I don't know why it's happening, but it makes me happy because I love Giannis. And the responses are just as amazing as you think. They're like all, 3 words or less, nothing super in depth.
Apparently, Giannis's favorite style of music is heavy metal.
Yeah. We should take a minute.
Not true, but I was saying to some friends, if Giannis for some reason has serious opinions about like toxic Holocaust or like deicide, I'm gonna lose my mind. I don't know how I could love the man anymore. He's literally been my background on my phone for 7 years, but I'll do it. I don't know how it'll happen, but I will do it. I will find a way to open up my heart even
to love him even more.
I am a certified rocker. If anyone hasn't been privy,
I don't know if they know that.
Cued in on it. Yeah. Known metalhead or fan of heavier music. It's me. And so if Giannis really does like heavy, but see, my problem is when he say heavy metal, is he talking about like Judas Priest, like Metallica? I mean, Judas Priest and Metallica rules. I mean, like,
that's a good question. The thing is, he's not going to give you those details.
Like, I'm never going to find out. Yeah, no. He's going to be too busy talking about trying to have like his 7th and 8th kid.
How about this person that said, if you respond, I'll name my kid Giannis. And he said, tell little Yanni I said hello.
I know. That's awesome.
Brilliant. Another one that was great. Someone said, what's your favorite sports car? And he said, I don't like sports cars.
Yeah. I
was like, it's amazing. What's your favorite color?
Sky blue.
Sky blue. Yeah. Amazing. There was another one that I saw that I thought was really good. Dude, this was interesting. He said, favorite NFL team. Yeah. He said Packers and Cowboys.
Yeah. I think the Cowboys is 1,000% exactly why he loved Kobe. I mean, Kobe was deserving of his praise clearly, but in Miran Fader's book, Giannis, she does talk about how he really could only get access to the things that like on the computer on like ESPN highlights. So it's like the Cowboys are the biggest brand in football, like internationally.
Right.
My guess is his first introduction to football was the Cowboys. He came to Wisconsin and learned what the Packers were, which, is its own thing.
Yes.
He learned about who Vince Lombardi is when pride still matters.
I feel like you're just showing off your.
Yeah, it's a slow news week,
Yeah.
And then,
yeah. How about the fact that someone said favorite wrestler of all time, and he said Eddie Guerrero.
That's Latino Heat. That's pretty sick. I wonder I wonder how he's feeling about Dom's IC run right now.
Yeah, good point. I'm sure he has no idea.
I'm sure he does. He likes wrestling. He came out. He did. You know what I mean?
That's true. He was at AEW with his. Yeah. I was there. I was there for that night. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you're bored, go. He answered like 100 of them. It was great.
I can't wait for the video that's going to compile all of these answers, analyze them through some weird filter, and determine where he's going to go. And hopefully the answer is just Milwaukee. But there was the one answer, the one that made me the least comfortable was which city brings you the most joy. He said Miami, didn't he?
I didn't see that.
Oh yeah, there's
I feel like that would have gotten a ton of.
Yeah, well, you had mentioned, you had asked him a question. I was hoping maybe he'd answer that one because I think that would have been a very sweet one.
Yeah, obviously. I just put out there because I saw that. I was like, well, I'll shoot my shot. I just said, "How's your mom doing?" Because for those of you who don't know, I lost my mom to cancer when I was 25, and what their family went through is obviously insane, and the fact that she was able to keep them grounded is so impressive to me. You came from nothing, now you have everything. To still stay humble in that moment and not be like, I deserve this. Y'all AAU kids, y'all can suck it. This is I work it would have been so easy for not just him, but the NASA, for all of them to completely change. And they didn't. And there's no way in my mind that his mom didn't have something to do with that. So that was my question. He didn't answer it, but also I got in there a little late, Yeah. So I'm gonna say that's why.
So someone asked, out of all the cities you've ever been to, which city made you the happiest to be there? Not counting your hometown. So
counting your hometown.
Right. And he does consider Milwaukee to be his hometown. He said that. He's on record as saying this is the place where he became a man. So he wrote Florida cities. So not my favorite, unless he's trying to be an Orlando Magic player.
He likes Disney World. He likes going to
not
Disney
as much
World
with Brooke, but
with Brooke, they went down there. They went on some rides together.
Yeah.
He goes there with his kids, with the family.
Yep.
So anyway, still love Giannis. He's still amazing. He's my favorite forever. Sounds like yours too. And for now, he's still a buck.
There's just a full painted portrait of Giannis. I'm
you.
showing you Giannis stuff. I don't have one on display every single episode.
Yeah, it's true.
Although I will say it is a little uneven.
Yeah, when you're fixing that, I wanted to do one other thing because now we bring up wrestling in some way, shape, or form in every episode, and I don't want to talk about Raw at all, but I did want to make it known that there was a Comic-Con that just happened this last weekend in Philadelphia, and John Cena was there taking photos with people. And I don't know if you've ever been to one of these things, but you pay and you get 5 seconds essentially to take a photo, and then they shoo you out, and next person comes in. But everything I heard was he was very genuine, very nice. The photos all looked like he was just John Cena. He was the John Cena we know and love. He was not in character as this bad guy. To me, that does two things, right? Because first of all, it's not like he's going around and doing all these. This was the first Comic-Con that I've heard or seen that he was at. So he must have just been in Philadelphia for something or nearby. Something had to have been going on, and he was like, hey, I can make a few extra bucks. I'm gonna go do this. But the WWE allowed him to do it. He very well could have said, if you want a photo with me, that's fine, but I'm not gonna smile or whatever. He could have still stayed in character.
Yeah.
A lot of people like to say that the everything that happens with the WWE, there's a reason it happens. A lot of people are already saying that the heel turn is a regret and that it's regressing. the fact that this happened and you saw John Cena smiling with all of these fans and everything else, to me helps solidify the idea that, he's still, he doesn't like, whether he doesn't like the heel turn or it's going to end.
Yep. I still think I might be onto something. I think he loses the belt and then regains it and gets to celebrate a fully face.
Okay, but he's not losing it to R-Truth. So who is he losing it to?
I don't know. Well, that's his only opponent right now. So I don't know what to tell you.
Well, tell me someone else. There, you know who's on the roster.
I don't know. I haven't thought about it. Maybe like a Randy Orton rubber match. There's a lot of heat there. I mean, I don't know if Kevin Owens is going to be back. That would have been a fun one.
That would have been. But
CM Punk makes a lot of sense, but it seems like a waste to just like shoehorn CM Punk into that.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
That's my only problem.
Yeah.
That's my only problem with it is that I don't know, because whoever has it has to have it for at least like a couple months. You know,
I don't agree with that at all. I think he could flip it in a month. I think he could drop it. Let's just say it happened. Let's just say somehow he loses it at Money in the Bank, right? That's like the next PLE. You know what? You're right. He probably doesn't lose it to R-Truth, but what's fun about the R-Truth thing to me and why I think it would be funny is it's just like not a very serious champ. So when he wins it back, it's also not that surprising. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't actually tarnish his legacy at all. I don't think losing it at all does, period. But what I mean by that is like, what a fun story for R-Truth. He like stole his moveset. He's his childhood hero. He wins the belt from him. And then through like, I just think like pretty easily 1 or 2 promos, you can have John revert back to being the face he always was. And like a modern face where the crowd actually just wants him to win. You know what I mean? He's just over, and for the first time, because he's doing like an earnest run at it. So that's what I think. I think 17 sucks. I think it's a wash. I think it's going to be really hard to get the taste out of this like really forced and manufactured heel turn that was like pretty inauthentic given the story that was set up. So just wash your hands of it altogether. We got a new champ. John dug deep. He's the greatest of all time. Guess what? It doesn't take that long to become the greatest of all time again. You know what I mean? He never stopped, but I just mean like.
But then he has to, if he's going to be a good guy again, then when he wins it back, he has to win it back in the right way. He has to win it back. Like there's no cheating. There's no interference. There's no anything, which I think that's more difficult to do right away. You know what I mean?
I think I give enough. I guess I give the WWE enough credit. You know who would be a fun one for that? Like a Drew McIntyre. Have him lose to Drew. Have them settle this Damian Priest thing. I think like Drew is a heel, and he would be willing to do something like dirty enough that like maybe John could cheat in a way and just win easy, and maybe he doesn't, goes through hell, has to dig deep, and we just say, like in the ring, you tell the story of him saying like, I could have done the easy thing. I could have taken you all for advantage. I love you all. I do love wrestling. I realize maybe I need to retire because I don't love it the way I used to. And that's what I'm feeling. I think that's like a really easy promo.
Wait a minute. What about if Cody Rhodes comes back? The Rock interferes. They do end up flipping Cody to heel.
Sure.
Cody takes the belt from John. John then realizes that he was just as bad as Cody Rhodes is now in being this bad guy going against who he was. It helps clear his mind. We get John back, and then John at SummerSlam, or maybe a little after SummerSlam, wins the belt.
Yeah. I think he just vacate it. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you want to turn. I just don't know why Cody would want to turn heel.
That was originally the idea that they were going to try to do that.
Well, it's the idea that they want us to think it was going to happen. Sure, I just mean, like, if you look at it, it's like all the children love you. You're number one in merch sales more times than not because of his heel stat or his face status. So I don't know why you'd want to give it up in the interest of like making John look better. But I think like, yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. I just think it would be easier for him to drop the title, dig deep, and win it than we think. I think the fans are smart enough to know that like he clearly regrets it. They've already sowed those seeds. So it's like, one good promo, and fucking John Cena can cut one hell of a promo. So I'm like not really stressed.
True. Also, we made it 44 minutes without net bomb, but
what could have been? You know what could have been?
Yep.
You cut it out.
Nope.
Here, I'll do a voiceover. Fudge.
Oh wow! Now we had a fuck, fudge, and a fuck.
Well,
now we had 4. God,
you said so many more than me, and you said that. You got a poop mouth, Ron Burgundy. You got a poop mouth.
Sorry, they all came out now. Anyway,
real quick before you end, one last unsolicited plug. I don't know if it's playing in Wisconsin yet. Friendship, starring Paul Rudd and Tim Robinson, the new A24 comedy, is so funny. I cannot recommend it more. So if it's playing in theaters, go see it.
I don't know if it is, but I love that.
It's so funny. Go to Chicago and see it. It's that funny. It is so unbelievably funny. I got to see it last Thursday in a packed out theater, and it was like people were laughing so hard and for so long that they were like stepping on other jokes. Like I will need to see it again so I can hear
the jokes that you missed because of the laughing.
It's so funny.
Always so good.
I cannot recommend it enough.
All right. So. Well, there you go. And a little recommendation to end this week's pod. Thank you, John. I appreciate you. Appreciate everyone for tuning in to another episode of Don't Tell Me How to Fan. Make sure to tune in next week because we are not done yet.